So I've done a couple YouTube shorts on this in the past, but I just wanted to kind of go over this really thoroughly in a little bit longer video. Whenever you're doing these inducer motor assemblies, just make sure you're getting all the parts. So I'd say some parts houses are different than others. Some are really good at getting you everything you need, and the other ones you find out once you get the parts at the shop or out on site that you got the wrong stuff. Some of the stuff to look for when you order the whole inducer motor assembly, which I always recommend doing everything as a whole assembly. Sometimes you'll get everything you see here. You get the wheel, you get the motor, you get all the housing and everything, and other times they break it up piece by piece. So I know I've been burned in the past where I order inducer motor assembly, I get the motor and some of the metal, and they might not send the wheel, or some of these housings come apart, and that's how you have to do it. But basically this wheel, you can see here, it has some Allen keys, and it's actually something that you can pull off. This one would have been a nightmare to get off, and a lot of times they'll get damaged when they get this rusted. I mean, you can use some like rust spray or something like that that kind of breaks this stuff up, but it's very difficult to get off. So I always recommend just getting a new one. This one I would have been screwed on anyways, because you can see it snapped off anyways, which is what took out this motor. A couple other things that I see a lot that people will do is they don't get the gasket. I always recommend getting the OEM gasket. It's nice and to have everything kind of OEM, but if you are in a bind, I've seen people use like the high temp caulking, and it can be a little bit messier. You want to do not too much, but just enough, because what I have seen with the high temp caulk is people put the bead on all the way around here, and then they go to squish it on, and then the high temp caulking will like ooze down. I've gone out to service calls for this after people in the company I work for have replaced an inducer motor, and you'll see that caulking has all blobbed down, and it was literally spread everywhere all over in this wheel. I've also seen where it is bound up the wheel, or I've seen where just enough has gotten in to fill up these little cups that are pushing the air, and then it wasn't closing the pressure switch. It's always a little bit, you know, something like a head scratcher when you go out with something with a brand new inducer motor just installed and it's not pulling in the pressure switch. You know, hook up the manometer, kind of test everything, and you can kind of see pretty quickly it wasn't pulling enough negative pressure to close the pressure switch. Another thing, I've also seen it where this gasket, just the OEM, just this fiberglass gasket, was off, and it just sucked a bunch of fiberglass into this wheel, and it either made it off balance or it just basically made it fail prematurely. This one here, you can actually see there is some insulation from this one that got sucked in here. This is probably from the factory actually. So I mean, it happens, anyone can do it unfortunately, but it just filled up these little things, and this only being on a couple and not everything. What probably happened is this little wheel got out of balance, and it was spinning out of balance, which eventually tore it apart like this, and then basically made this motor seize up and fail. Those are just some of the tips that I've ran into that hopefully help you. I mean, I've been burned on a couple of them myself, especially early on in my career. I think I did one of those silicone things early on when I didn't have a gasket. I've done pretty good at getting gaskets, but I've definitely had multiple of those things happen to me, especially the little wheel, this little wheel here not being sent. I've had that screw me over multiple times, where you're out there with some of the parts and then you realize that they didn't send the wheel, or you just thought the wheel was in the box. That's another tip, is always open up the box, make sure it's good, because I've also seen where these are pre-assembled, and I've seen these out of like bent in like where they're grinding, and once they're bent, I mean, yeah, you could try to bend them back to get someone through like a bind, but I mean, now you're gonna have a wheel that's out of balance, and you're just gonna have it fail prematurely again. So just a lot of things to look for. Obviously, it kind of goes a long way on a lot of parts to always check, you know, your parts before you get out on site, or even before you leave the parts house if you're the one picking it up. I know everyone does things a little different. Some shops have someone at the shop that orders the parts, some techs go pick up their parts themselves. Everyone does it a little different, but just stuff that can save you a huge headache or just kind of a pain in the ass day. But yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.